Welcome to Insiders, everybody. He's back once again. Our friend, Cary Silkin. How are you doing, Cary?
They're not sick of me yet. They
Never
probably are, but
this
you guys
is
aren't.
this is a milestone episode. It's the 10th time we've had you on. Part
Brilliant.
10.
Brilliant.
That's all right.
I love it. Here's to the next 10.
I love talking to you guys. You know that.
We do. You know, the feeling's very mutual. It really is. And obviously, we're gonna look at Final Battle. I was looking as well. I didn't realize it's the 20th edition as well of Final Battle. I'm presuming you're going to be there.
Yeah, I mean, barring some unforeseen issues, but yeah, I'm going to be there. Is it the 20? How could it be 20?
I was doing a bit of research earlier, looking at the card, and it says the 20th edition.
Well, wait a minute. If our 20th anniversary isn't until March,
It
must be the 19th.
Oh well, someone somewhere got it wrong, but 19th or 20th. Yeah. I was saying to Callum before you came on, the card again is just stacked. You look at pay-per-view cards and you always look, oh, there's a few good matches. I can't wait for that. I said to Callum, Ring of Honor, every match, I want to watch every match. It's just constant. Every pay-per-view is just stacked cards.
just a thought,
this
right?
is no different.
It could be the 20th edition and the 19th anniversary, right? Or
well, if the first Final Battle was in 2002.
Yeah.
Right? This is the 19th.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Well, yeah.
I was at the first Final Battle. It was before I had involvement with the company. And when Gabe and the other guys started Ring of Honor, I went to the Murphy Rec. But yeah, I was there. So I've been at every Final Battle except last year because of the pandemic stuff.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to quarantine in a room by myself for 3 or 4 days and whatever. So yeah, this is going to be epic. The end of an era, my man.
And you've been there from the first Final Battle right until, like I said before, it's a very fitting name for it this year because Final Battle is the Final Battle for a long time. It could be, a few months, it could be a couple of years until we see Ring of Honor come back in any way, shape, or form. But
yeah, nobody really knows. Hopefully, we'll be doing a show in Texas. Hopefully, we'll be doing other shows. And there's too many questions. Don't ask me. And hopefully, we'll be here next year for another Final Battle.
Hopefully.
And if not, it's been a hell of a ride.
Yeah, I think the best way of looking at it is like at least this era of Ring of Honor this chapter has just closed. Another one is likely to start, but this chapter of Ring of Honor has closed for all intents and purposes. And I think that's quite exciting because Final Battle, like Jamie said, looks incredible. The card from top to bottom is brilliant. And Final Battle's always been good. It's the big show for Ring of Honor. Along with like Death Before Dishonor, there's some great shows throughout the year, but Final Battle's always been the one where all the stories are resolved,
right?
And new ones begin. The difference this time is it's a lot more finishing of stories rather than starting new ones, obviously, because there's so many matches on this card. I'm looking at it right now, and a lot of them are like grudge matches from like Ring of Honor history, and you've got like
I see. Am I missing many? I see 6 matches announced.
There's 7 so far, I believe.
Yeah. Callum mentioning grudge match. Let's start there. Grudge match, which I'm really excited for, is Kenny King and Shane Taylor. What's your thoughts on that? Because it's a wonderful, long-term storytelling, something that other companies don't do.
Right. I mean, my thoughts are it should be great. I mean, Kenny is good for any kind of match. You know, he's a good baby face, he's a good heel. I mean, I've known the guy since 2007, I think. And Shane Taylor, who got through the whole splitting up with Keith Lee thing and really reinvented himself as a single, you know, and then that, you know, grew into the Shane Taylor Promotions. And he put a lot of, you know, obviously, if you follow it, he's put a lot of work into it, and he really believes in it. And so, with that in mind, and the quality of these guys, this should be really something. So, yeah, that's going to be good. I'm also looking forward. I'm looking forward to it all, but I'm looking forward to the pure title match, which is sort of an oddball. With Josh Woods against Brian Johnson, the Mecca. You know, Brian Johnson, it was pointed out to me that I did the Ring of Honor podcast. It's going to come out Monday. And I told Kevin Eck, I don't know, you know, but I said that he goes, we'll just keep it in an hour, put on a good face. We wound up talking for 2.5 hours. So he pointed out to me that Brian Johnson has been on the indies for 12 years. Yeah. And I just saw when I would see him as a ring crew guy 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And talk about working on the character. You know, he's done great. So I don't know if he can really pull off a pure rules match against Josh Woods, but we'll see.
I'm hoping Josh Woods wins. He's one of my favorites in Ring of Honor, and Jamie's too, I think.
Josh Woods, when we interviewed him, Callum, did tell me I was a beast.
He did. He did.
But, you know,
like you said, Cary, Brian Johnson as well. When I first saw him, I'll be completely honest, he's one of those wrestlers where I looked at and thought, he kind of looks like another 20 wrestlers I've seen this week. You know, nothing stood out straight away to me. But as soon as the bell rang and he got on the microphone, I was like, oh shit, this guy is different. Like, he's so good on the microphone. And once he starts speaking, you listen. And then when he goes in the ring, you're like, how haven't I seen this guy before? Yeah. So, yeah, I can't wait for that match.
He's believable. I found him believable.
Very believable. You know?
When he speaks and he's angry, I know when he was in the feud with Danhausen, I said, when we spoke to Danhausen, I said, he's always angry. But I believe he's always angry. So whatever he works for me. The guy's brilliant. I don't think he'll win, but I think it'll be one hell of a match. It could be the dark horse of the night.
It could be a huge upset. It could be a huge upset.
It could be. It could be. But one as well I'm looking forward to, Cary, and it's for the TV title. Dalton Castle versus who? I mean, are we going to get a surprise?
Oh, I don't even have that on my list. What is it, Dalton?
Dalton Castle versus to be decided. So
it's going to be a surprise.
Yeah.
And not, no, you're not going to see Samoa Joe come out.
Yeah.
But or Nigel. Yeah. But I'll promise you, I'll give you a little hint. The match will be a surprise.
All right.
Okay.
Leave it at that.
Like, as if I wasn't excited enough, you know. Now I've got another 8 days to wait. But before I move on as well, because that's not someone we've spoke about much. I mean, what's your thoughts on Dalton? Because I think he's been another one of those guys who has been at Ring of Honor for a long time. I mean, what's your thoughts on Dalton?
Well, as a talent, you know, he's fantastic. And, you know, talk about developing a character. He came to the Ring of Honor training seminars or back in like 2013, 14, something like that. And then I would see him locally by where I live when Chikara was running. And he did, what's the gimmick he did? Like the rich sailor, like the yachtsman kind of. So yeah, so I got to know him, and he's a really cool guy. I mean, I told him the other day or last week, whenever we talked, you know, he could have a career, you know, like in Hollywood, or, you know, he does stand-up comedy. He's great. You know,
he's a good-looking dude. He's got a look, hasn't he? He could be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, he's a good guy, and obviously a really good talent. So that's going to be a big surprise. You'll see. I don't even know exactly what it is, but I know sort of what it is.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So
fair enough.
Moving to the women's division. Obviously, Rok-C, current Ring of Honor Women's World Champion, recently crowned as well the inaugural Ring of Honor Women's Champion. She's going to be facing either Willow Nightingale or Mandy Leon for the championship. I believe on this week's episode of Ring of Honor, it's Willow Nightingale versus Mandy Leon to decide who faces her. I think either one of those is good. For me personally, I'd like to see her go against Willow Nightingale just because I think Willow is fantastic. And I don't really mind who wins. I think all of the girls, all of the women in this division are deserving.
I know you said, we spoke to Rok-C a few weeks ago, and you think she's the future of the women's wrestling.
I think she's one of the best women's talents in the world right now, and even at such a young age, I do think she's in. Give it 5 or 10 years time, we'll be talking about her in the same breath as Becky Lynch.
Yeah, I mean, she just turned 20. She just turned 20. 20.
Yes, yeah, 20.
Makes you guys look old.
We are old.
We are old.
But yeah, you know, the women's division, which has been wonderfully mentored by Maria and Bobby Cruz, and helping out tremendously. It's really been during this messed up year and a half, 2 years, whatever the hell it's been. The women's division is one of the, you know, they talk about the pure title tournament and what's been going on in Ring of Honor that really stood out. The women's division is one of it. And I feel bad because there's been so few times to go to these events that I haven't been, you know, I mean, I've barely even, all these girls I've barely even got to meet or just briefly, but I've watched the matches, and either way, this is going to be good. Rok-C is amazing. Willow, as they used to say, is up and coming, right? and Mandy's really good. So yeah, it's going to be good. I just noticed, because I didn't even see this, that the ROH World 6-man tag title.
Yes. I mean, it's no secret how much I love the Righteous. I'm mega excited for that. I would love to see the Righteous take those titles. I know I said to you last time you was on, I want to see the Righteous stay together. You know, whether Ring of Honor comes back, which I think it's going to, I want to see those guys stick together. I think as far as factions goes and stables, they're one of the top ones out there. I know I've been doing a lot of shows with Dutch lately still.
You're right, Jimmy. If they stay as a unit and go together, you know, wherever they end up going, go together, go as a unit and make something of the Righteous. I mean, when Ring of Honor starts back again, they can hopefully come straight back and pick up where they left off. But I really do think there's strength in numbers with those guys, and hopefully they stay together. But I think you're right. I think they're going to pick up the 6-man titles at Final Battle. I hope so anyway.
Well, I know I've said this already 2 or 3 times, but Vinny, and you guys have spoken to him, right?
Oh, yeah, a couple of times, yeah.
Talk about a guy that's put in a lot of work on his, you know, on his character. And yeah, another guy who I know from his very beginnings, you know, he and Taven and some other guys would come in from New England, you know, the seminars and dark matches and yeah. So, and to see, you know, what he's developed with, you know, this faction and his character, it's really good. So, and it's nice when you have good people, you know, that put in hard work and it works out. And he's one of them.
I feel like he's put a lot of himself into this. You're seeing a lot more of the real Vinny. You know, we know he's a big horror buff.
Yeah, he likes like the horror movie stuff, and you know, yeah. So
he's hopefully much less, you know, much less of a psychopath in real life. Hopefully, that's
yeah, he is. And Dutch is good. Dutch is a fellow cigar smoker. So we'll trade a. I'll bring. He surprised me. He gave me a couple of sticks, and so yeah. But yeah, great faction. That should be awesome. What do we got left here? Oh, the tag team titles.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, talk about potential match of the night.
Easy.
I mean, I love the Briscoes. I'm just, whenever they're on, I'm just glued to the TV.
We can be honest, right? It had to be the Briscoes. If this is, for now, the farewell for Ring of Honor until they come back, if this was the final chapter of Ring of Honor, it had to be the Briscoes in this tag team title match. I can't think of any other tag team it could be.
Absolutely. And when I was talking to Kevin Eck for the ROH podcast, when does this come out?
But this will be out tomorrow.
All right. Well, the ROH podcast comes out Monday. And I'm also going to try to do a Last Stop Penn Station next Tuesday to put it out Friday before the show. I got to get, you know, so because of everything. But anyway, with the Briscoes, you know, Taven and Bennett, fantastic win, super talented. We know all this, but what I wanted to say was, when I was speaking with Kevin Eck, I said the Briscoes might be one of the, well, they're in the list for the greatest tag teams of all time.
Yeah.
If you did a top 10.
Yeah.
But here, and you guys could probably know better than, you'll know better than I. If we take the last 20 years, okay, the time the Briscoes have been in the business, I think they're the #1 tag team. Yeah. Because of the longevity. I don't think there's anyone close. Like you could say the Hardys, but they worked in different companies a large part of the time.
Yeah.
And I see Callum brain ticking.
I think you're right. I think you're right. When you
young Buck, you know, the Bucks, but you know, look, it's only been, I mean, I love the Bucks, but they don't have, if we take the last 2 decades, all the companies, maybe I'm missing a Japanese tag team. I don't think so though.
I think the closest thing, obviously, you talk about last 2 decades, 20, 25 years, you look at what they've accomplished, the title reigns. I think the only team close to them, you could maybe say, is the Dudleys for title reigns. But Briscoes, for me, the top 1 or 2 of the last 20 years.
You've hit the nail on the head there, though, Cary. One of the things that they have over any team is longevity.
Yeah.
And their tenure in Ring of Honor has been consistent throughout. They've broken up as a team, but always got back together. They've both had shots at the World Championship. Jay won the World Championship. You know, they've had success outside of the tag team. They've always come back to teaming together. and they've carried on that success. Like, to me, the Briscoes were never broken up. They were always going to get back together.
Right.
And I think that the longevity is what makes them one of the best tag teams in recent history, because, like I said, who else has done that? Who else has stuck with one company for 20 years?
Yeah.
Nobody. And you're right about the Dudleys, but if we had a calendar.
But again, they haven't got the longevity, I suppose. You know, they worked together for that long. I mean, they've broke up, they've come back, been together, broke up.
Right.
But the Briscoes.
Same with the Hardys.
Yeah. But I look at the Briscoes to Ring of Honor. They're almost like, to me, how Sting was to WCW, how Undertaker was to WWE. That's the Briscoes for Ring of Honor for me. That's their legacy for me.
And the thing about the Hardys, this might annoy some people, but I think Jeff was more successful than the Hardys ever were as a tag team. Jeff on his own did more than the Hardys as a team. And I know the Hardys did a lot together, but Jeff's a multiple-time world champion. Mm-hmm. He's had bigger feuds. He's had more noteworthy appearances. I think Jeff's done more than the Hardys did as a team. And for that kind of disqualifies the Hardys from being one of the best in recent history. And I think that's why the Briscoes just pip him on that list.
Yeah. And wouldn't it be just perfect for the Briscoes to win those tag titles?
Exactly.
Yes, it would.
Which I hope they do. I think there's something poetic about it. I think it's just perfect, written in the stars, that. But the final match, the main event, Bandido, Gresham. I mean, talk about mouth-watering. I mean, I think Gresham, pound for pound, I don't think there's a better technical wrestler on the planet. No. Maybe Daniel Bryan.
Maybe Zack Sabre Jr. I mean, there's a few you could say, but I think right now, 2021, heading into Final Battle, I don't think there's a better technical wrestler, like you said, Jamie, than Jonathan Gresham.
I keep saying Daniel Bryan. I mean Bryan Danielson. So
it even went over my head.
I know.
Yeah. I mean, am I safe to say, without insulting Bandido, and it's not an insult, or insulting myself, it's sort of a interesting clash of styles, because as great as Gresham is, as a technical wrestler, and yes, he could do aerial moves and high flying stuff, but he's not in the league of Bandido when it comes to that. And Bandido, he can wrestle, but he's not, so they both have their strengths, and it's going to be very, very interesting. And Gresham, believe it or not, has been around Ring of Honor, whether it was just a dark match and a year or two would pass, since 2011.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He paid his dues.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know he worked in the UK quite a bit.
Yeah, I've seen him for Progress a couple of years ago, and he's just he's a pleasure to watch when he's in the ring.
Right. So, is that our so far? Do we cover the announcement?
That's the card. And it's just.
Well, let me just get a water. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm coming back.
Every card is just constantly stacked. That's the one from Ring of Honor. They never ever disappoint with a card.
Well, I promise you, there's going to be more.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. I know I'm going to be watching it. Callum will be watching it. I know.
Yeah, of course.
It's just, like I said, it's the last pay-per-view for the foreseeable. But what a way to go out with that card. I think there's going to be a few title changes.
There's got to be, right? That's what excites me, is there's going to be title changes. And what does that mean for when Ring of Honor comes back? Because whoever is the Ring of Honor champion going out, I mean, what does the future hold for them when Ring of Honor comes back? That's what I'm excited to find out. So it'll be interesting to see who's got who's got the gold when, you know, the show finishes, because what does that mean? You know, people are going to be the champions, but when Ring of Honor comes back, will they be vacated?
Not everyone is going to get signed by AEW.
No.
Or go to WWE.
Exactly. I mean,
I wouldn't want them to anyway. I wouldn't want that. I
No.
want a lot of people who are currently with Ring of Honor to stay with Ring of Honor, and it's completely, obviously, their choice, their life, but I hope to see a lot of these faces and champions come back when Ring of Honor comes back.
I know we said last time, and I'll say it again because I truly mean it. The professional wrestling world wouldn't be what it is without Ring of Honor, and it won't be what it is without Ring of Honor. I want them back as soon as they want to come back. But like you said last time, Callum, I say it again. The wrestling world wouldn't be what it is now without Ring of Honor.
No, it wouldn't.
You know, there are. Yeah, honestly, it's true. It's true. They're an important, integral part of the history of professional wrestling. We wouldn't have a lot of the talent we have now if it wasn't for Ring of Honor. So
I think it holds a nostalgic place in a lot of people's hearts, and I think people want to see Ring of Honor do the best they can. And I think a lot of people are just positive and excited for when they do come back. So whenever that is, in whatever way it is, I think we're all excited.
Yeah, and I can speak for Callum when I say this. I mean, Ring of Honor's always had a special place in our heart.
Well,
you know?
we'll have to see what happens, right?
Yeah, we'll see what happens, and you know for a fact we'll be talking to you in the future about it anyway.
This is it. We said this at the beginning, Cary. You know, we're never not going to have you on here because you're one of us. You're a ringsider now, so we're always going to have you on.
He's a ringsider.
I've got the 5-minute warning.
Yeah.
So we will bring you back in a couple of weeks after the show.
Yes.
And I think there's going to be a hell of a lot to talk about. There really is. But before we do let you go, do what you do best. Promote your stuff. What's coming up?
I got nothing to promote. If your listeners haven't heard me say it, or someone's new to your podcast, the Last Stop Penn Station podcast, there's 70 episodes, juicy, chock full of wildness and good wrestling stories mixed in with other crazy stuff. ROH Cary on Twitter and Instagram, ROH Cary. And yeah, I mean, it's very emotional, this whole thing. It's gonna be strange. I wasn't at the TV tapings they did a month ago or so ago. That was right after the announcement.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, a lot of these guys have families, you know, that had contracts, you know, and, you know, nothing lasts forever. But so there's obviously a lot of disappointment or trepidation or, you know, angst. But so hopefully what I'm hoping is in Baltimore, December 11th, at the former UMB set. It's got some crazy name now, like the Chesapeake Insurance.
Chesapeake, yeah.
Anyway, in Baltimore on the University of Maryland, University of Maryland, Baltimore campus. It's going to be a positive vibe there. You know, it's going to be, I want it to be a celebratory night.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and it's really hard because you don't want to be that this is the end, but you want to celebrate everything that's happened and hope for the best. And so I'm interested to just see how look, historically, Ring of Honor, going back to the earliest days, has survived horrible scandals, terrible, you know, ups and downs, financial problems, with when I owned it and managed to, you know, is this gonna be like magically gonna happen? No, but we're gonna hope for the best.
Hell yeah. Well, I think I got that for a second. I've got a feeling that it's going to be one of the best pay-per-views we've seen in a long time. I think everyone's going to go out with a bang. They're going to put everything into it. I can't wait to watch it. I really can't.
And by the way, I'm still planning. Hopefully, there will be an ROH show in Texas in April, and regardless, I'm going to come down there.
Hell yeah.
Just to see you guys.
Yeah.
That's a bonus. Seriously.
Yes.
Hell yes. Whiskey, cigars. Let's rock and roll. But I know before we cut off, Cary, it's always a pleasure. Absolutely. We love you so much, man. Enjoy the show, and we'll get you back after the show, and we'll talk some more Ring of Honor.
All right. Well, thank you for all the promoting you do for ROH, and you know,
Anytime.
we all appreciate it, and enjoy Final Battle, and I'll catch up with you in a couple of weeks.
Awesome,
all right,
man. You take care of yourself.
All right, guys.
See you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You
Bye bye.
Take care.
You too.